New faces of hope for a team that desperately wants to deliver a win for Ohio. Joining us now is Dylan Tyre, the CBJ's radio host and broadcast coordinator, and also a proud Buckeye. Welcome to Ohio Sports Magazine.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
First and foremost, our deepest condolences on the loss of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. A senseless and avoidable tragedy. Now, the home opener against the Florida Panthers was special as each player wore a patch with the number 13, and the team is dedicated this season to their memory. This guy, Johnny, he lived, ate, and breathed hockey. How does this team, or any team for that matter, move forward after such a shocking loss?
Yeah, I mean, there's no real right way to do it, right? I mean, everybody grieves differently. Everybody's going to handle the situation differently. But so far, so good for the Blue Jackets. I think everybody is finding a lot of strength in the fact that Johnny's wife, Meredith, said that his wish would be for the Blue Jackets to play this season. So that's exactly what they've gone out and done. The Blue Jackets have handled it quite well in the dressing room. I've talked to multiple players about it, and the general theme is, we're going to handle it day by day. We're not going to hide from it. We're going to talk about it when things get difficult or we're emotional about it. We're going to have people here to have each other's backs, and that's really the way it's been to this point. There are going to be hard days this season. There are going to be better days this season. But I think the fact that everybody is able to handle this together as a team is the number one thing. So that's exactly how they're going to move by it.
In an October 4th practice, center Boone Jenner was injured and required shoulder surgery. He's the team's captain and also one of your premier players. Who fills the void in his absence, both in terms of on the ice and in the locker room?
It's a good question because there's really no filling the void for a player like Boone Jenner. He's a complete dog on a bone on the ice. He's so hard to battle against. He's so hard on pucks. So it's a big loss when it comes to that. Then you add in the fact that he's the Blue Jackets captain. That's another layer to all of this. But I'll start off with the leadership role. The Blue Jackets have a great core of leadership. First of all, the players that have been here around Boone Jenner, whether it's a Zach Werenski or a Sean Corrali or an Eric Goodbranson, Matthew Olivier, others in that dressing room as well. It's a group effort. It's not just one guy speaking up in the room. But you think about the veterans that the Blue Jackets have added this offseason as well. James Van Riemsdyk, a longtime NHL player. Jack Johnson in his second stint with the Blue Jackets. He's played over 1,000 games in the NHL. He's won a Stanley Cup. Those guys can help to pick up some of the slack, and by all accounts, they've integrated into the locker room really well already. So I think the Blue Jackets are in a good spot when it comes to that leadership group around Boone Jenner and filling the void without him. On the ice, it's a hard thing to do, but you're looking for younger players to step up. The Blue Jackets did make a couple of additions late. They got Kevin Labanc. He's a longtime member of the San Jose Sharks. He adds skill to the Blue Jackets' top six. Then they added Zach Aston Reese, who Blue Jackets fans may be familiar with from his time with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's a bottom six grinder type player. So those guys are added to help to fill that void, but in no way are they replacing Boone Jenner. I think you need to look for a player like Adam Fantilli to step up. He was the third overall pick in last year's NHL entry draft. He's expected to take a massive, massive leap this year. And he's got a little bit of Boone Jenner in his game. I'd say he's more skilled than Boone Jenner is, but he's got some grittiness and hard-nosed attitude in his game as well. So a player like that really could have a big season and help to fill that void. And, a player that is more finesse than power is Ken Johnson. He had an awesome training camp and preseason for the Blue Jackets, a great start to the season. And he's a guy that could pick up some of that slack lost and those goals lost with Boone Jenner out of the lineup.
What does having a hockey legend like Don Waddell at the helm mean for a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets?
I think it's really good to have Don Waddell in Columbus right now. He's the general manager and president of hockey operations. He's a guy that brings a complete wealth of experience to Columbus. This guy has spent a long time in the NHL with multiple stops in the NHL. To put it really frankly, he knows what he's doing. He's been around the block before. I can speak to what Don Waddell is like away from hockey too. He's a great person to work with. He's made it a point to get to know as many people as he can within the Blue Jackets office. That's ticket sales, that's concessions people, that's our marketing staff, that's the broadcasters. It's literally everyone. So he's a man of the people. He wants to be seen. He wants to know that he has everyone in the organization's back. So it's really impressive from that standpoint. And we haven't gotten to see, him wheel and deal a whole lot yet. He's had one off season with the Blue Jackets, but it was a busy one. The Blue Jackets had the 4th overall pick. They drafted Caden Lindstrom. They made a couple of trades at that draft there, moving up and down throughout the rounds. He hired a new head coach in Dean Evison. He's made a couple of different acquisitions that I already mentioned. He traded away Patrick Laine. So the guy has been active. He's known for making some big moves and making shrewd moves at that. So I'm very excited to see what Don Waddell does as not just this season goes on, but as the years go on while he's in Columbus.
And he certainly took his time in finding the right coach. Dean Evison is that guy. What is Evison's vision for the team, and how have the players responded to his leadership?
Well, the vision is very clear. He wants the team to play hard. He wants the team to be in the opponent's face, and he wants the team to play fast. It's very simple, and I think the players like that. They've responded extremely well to it. It's always interesting with a new head coach coming in and how fast the players are going to adjust to the playing style, adapt his systems throughout training camp and the preseason. And then you add all of the new faces on the Blue Jackets to that. You don't know what's going to happen. But by all accounts, the team picked it up really, really quickly during training camp in the preseason. Evison said that himself, that he was almost surprised with how well everything had gone. I think the players echoed that, and we're going to see it as the season continues, whether or not the Blue Jackets are able to achieve that playing style. But I would say so far, so good.
We've talked a little bit about some of the players, but when you look at the season's roster, which players do you feel are ripe to have perhaps a first or second breakout season this year?
The guys that I already talked about, I would say are really primed for big years. Adam Fantilli, I believe, will establish himself as a bona fide NHL standout this season. Again, he was the 3rd overall pick last year. The expectation is that this guy is going to be one of the very best players in the NHL going forward. Ken Johnson was the 5th overall pick by the Blue Jackets in 2021. He had a solid rookie season with 40 points. He scored 16 goals, had a sophomore slump last year. Just didn't quite work for KJ for whatever reason last year. Then he ended up getting hurt and missed the end of the season, as did Adam Fantilli. KJ has had an awesome training camp, an awesome preseason. He just looks different. He's stronger, he's faster, and that's led to the puck being on his stick more and him having more success with the puck on his stick. Fantilli looks explosive as well. He looks bigger, he looks stronger, he looks faster. The sky's the limit for a guy like that. 2 other players that I have my eye on this year, Igor Chinakhov in the forward group. I think he really established himself as a scoring threat for the Blue Jackets last season. This is a guy that is the fastest skater on the ice night in and night out, and also possesses the fastest shot on the ice night in and night out. It's not often that you get that combination, so it's another guy that I think the sky is the limit for. The last player, Cole Sillinger, he started to establish himself as a very solid two-way center towards the end of last season. I think this year the points start to come for Cole Sillinger. I see him as a 40, 50-point scorer in the NHL year by year. I'd love to see him reach those totals this year.
So aside from health, obviously, and better luck, we've talked about the players. What else does this team need to be successful this year?
Man, I think the team needs to be really good on special teams this season, and they need good goaltending. Goaltending is going to be the key. Last year, Elvis Merzlikins had a bounce-back year compared to the year prior, but still not good enough for his standards. He comes in this year refocused. He's really dedicated to the team this year and performing for them, for battling for them. Dean Evison has talked about how impressed he's been with Elvis throughout training camp, and just the battle in his game. He's a hard worker. So first and foremost, the goaltending has to be there for the Blue Jackets. But special teams will be key this year. Their power play has struggled really throughout the history of the Columbus Blue Jackets. If they can harness more on the power play, if they can be a little bit more creative and put the puck in the back of the net there, it's going to lead to good things and more confidence 5-on-5 too. Those guys that I talked about should be the leaders on the power play. Lots of skill there. Plus, Sean Monahan, the Blue Jackets' big free agent acquisition over the offseason. He's a key piece of that top power play unit as well. Special teams also includes the penalty kill. That hasn't been there for the Blue Jackets. Last year, that special team struggled. So reestablishing themselves as one of the better penalty killing teams in the NHL and hoping for more power play goals. Plus, that goaltending will be key, and that helps out on special teams too. So I would say the Blue Jackets need all of that to be successful this year.
All right. Our thanks to Dylan Tyre and best wishes to the CBJ on a winning season. We'll be back with more of Ohio Sports Magazine after this.
It's Monday Night Football on The Fan. Catch the Ravens and Bucks from Tampa. Live coverage starts Monday at 8.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A single cloud can weigh 550 tons. A sports car fits inside a hippo's mouth. NJM Insurance puts policyholders first. Seems unbelievable, but it's all true and approved by legal. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for two things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? Truehold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
Now is a great time to start your holiday shopping at Meijer. Save big this week with our early holiday deals. Save $40 on a Gourmet air fryer. Save $30 when you buy a Keurig K-Slim single-serve coffee maker. And for the competitive ones on your gift list, select board games are 20% off. Shop even more great gift ideas like these in the Meijer Holiday Gift Guide. Available on Meijer.com, in-store, or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Complete your roofing project now and save big at Menards. Your roof is the first line of defense against the elements. Owens Corning shingles are the #1 brand trusted by contractors. Choose from over 40 options and get a limited lifetime warranty and up to 130 miles per hour wind warranty. Save big at Owens Corning shingles. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds. innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Chops his serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
The Central Ohio Youth Sports Collaborative is a collective of community-based organizations focusing on play equity and sports development in Central Ohio. It was formed after the Aspen Institute researched and produced the State of Play report of Central Ohio in 2021. The research found that youth feel that sports are too expensive, too serious, and take up too much time. Because of these feelings, many children are dropping out of sports at an alarming rate. Nationally, the typical child sticks with a sport for less than 3 years and quits by age 11, usually because the sport just stops being fun. The newly formed Central Ohio Youth Sports Collaborative, otherwise known as COYSC, had planned to host a coaches summit at Nationwide Arena in Columbus this weekend, but unfortunately, that has been postponed. COYSC Executive Director Sharnon Barnes joins us now on Ohio Sports Magazine. Welcome. Why was the collaborative founded?
Well, after the research, I think a lot of us that worked in youth sports in the in underserved communities were starting to realize that a lot of those kids were not being served. They weren't enjoying their sports. They weren't even participating in sports, and the number of sports that were available to them were much less than other kids in other communities.
Now, youth sports is a mainstay of Ohio culture and has been way before even my time, and I'm an old timer. Were the results of the Aspen Institute study surprising?
You know, not really. Especially, like I said, for those of us who work in the youth sports space, we do notice that, that the kids, that the sports are very expensive now. You know, if you want your child to play soccer or basketball or football, these sports are costing hundreds and sometimes even thousands of dollars, which is a huge barrier to most families. You know, a lot of families can't afford to, let alone pay the registration fee, the equipment fee, and then if they have to travel as well, that's an expensive thing. And so if you've got multiple kids playing multiple travel sports, you know, that can be a burden on a lot of families. And so it wasn't super surprising to see that kids weren't being able to play, especially because cost was such a barrier.
Is there any organization that helps supplement funding for these sports, or are parents pretty much on their own?
There are some organizations. There's the Lindy Infante Foundation. They help out with youth sports funding. They give to groups a lot of the time, so they can help to help reduce the cost for the organization, which then can reduce the cost for families. A lot of the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, Columbus Recreation and Parks Department, they offer low-cost opportunities for kids to play sports, which is great, especially for those kids that are wanting to start a sport and have never played a sport before. It's a great introductory program around Central Ohio. A lot of the recreation parks departments around Central Ohio offer that.
Let's start with the basics. What are the benefits to children who participate in team sports?
Oh, this is an endless list. So they learn how to work with others. They learn how to be successful, but they also learn how to fail. You know, instead of breaking down and wanting to give up, they learn how to be resilient. They learn problem-solving skills. They learn leadership skills, especially if you're one of those shyer kids and your teammates are noticing that you have all of these great qualities. They build you up. They help you build confidence. It's better for your body image as well. A lot of teen girls and girls that play sports have a better body image of themselves than girls that do not play sports. So you've got all of these wonderful characteristics that you get from sport that also can help with your mental health as well. You know, moving your body and building endorphins is good, right? And it makes you feel happy. So it's good for their mental health as well as their physical health.
Why are these kids saying the sport stops being fun? What's going on?
We've made it too serious. I think a lot of folks think that, you know, a kid that's playing basketball just for fun, they're like, oh, well, this is going to be the next LeBron James. And while that may be true, right? I'm not trying to take anything away from some of these kids. Kids play because it's fun. And so we make it so serious. We make it too regimented. There's no opportunity for just free play or for them to make any decisions in the process that they don't want to do it. And then they practice 4 or 5 nights a week. And when do they see their friends? You know, like when do they just get to be kids that hang out with their friends after school or go to birthday parties and all of that when they're traveling every weekend for their sport? You know, so they miss out on a lot of those normal quote unquote kid things of going to birthday parties, just hanging out with friends because they're always playing and they're always practicing. And then it also can cause physical damage when you have these overuse issues. You know, I was speaking to a person the other day who told me that their 11-year-old was already having Tommy John surgery, and that is very, very early for that surgery. So, you know, we've made it so serious that it's just not fun, and so we need to bring some of that fun back into sports so they want to continue to play.
So, wouldn't one solution be to have a competitive league and then just a recreational league for each sport, or are there just not enough staff and students to do that?
Yes, that would be one of the solutions, and yes, you're right. In theory, that would be great. I think a lot of the time, the staffing is the hard part, and trying to get folks to understand that yes, this is a recreational league. I think I used to run rec sports, and we were very clear about what the expectation was. Like, this is a learning and developmental league. And you still had those folks that were like, we're taking them to the top. And it's like, okay, take them to the top of this league. This is not an overly competitive league. And so I think part of that has to be the adult mindset shifting. We have to, as the adults in the room, we have to be the ones that make that change and create those spaces for kids to actually thrive in different levels of play. I think, like I said, there are some folks that are out here kind of living vicariously through the kids that they coach or their own children, and that is, you know, making it serious, and that's when the fun leaves. So I think it's on us adults to try to create these spaces that if you play this sport just because you like it, and you may not be very good at it, but you have the best time of your life, we need to foster that and encourage that, because that means that child's being active. They're learning teamwork. They're learning how to get along with people. It's good for their social and mental and physical health. Why are we not fostering that? Why are we not building that up more?
What is the goal of the Coaches Summit when it will eventually be rescheduled?
Yeah, we want to just give some coaches. We know a lot of volunteer coaches and folks that just coach out of the goodness of their heart don't have an opportunity to get any sort of personal development or professional development in that respect. So we want to offer them something. So we're having a session on mental health and youth sports done by Nationwide Children's Hospital. They're going to come and just give coaches some tips and tricks on things to look for in their youth athletes. We've got OSU Live Sports coming, and they're going to talk about how to foster a positive team environment. So just how to create a team culture that's positive, that brings everybody up and doesn't leave anybody behind. And then we're going to talk about how to do strength conditioning with youth athletes, because I think a lot of folks think of strength and conditioning and they think of like lifting heavy, running super fast, and doing all these things. And that may not be appropriate for the child that's involved. So we're going to have someone from Ohio Health come and help and teach that, because there are differences, physiological differences, when training boys and girls and young versus older kids. So we want to make sure that if you're working with, an 11-year-old, what's developmentally appropriate when training those kids in strength and conditioning.
Are there other groups like yours in other cities in Ohio, or is this the only one in the state?
I believe right now we're the only one in the state. There are other ones in other states, Philadelphia, Seattle, Chicago, LA, but I think we're the only one in the state right now, at least as much as I've looked. I've looked a lot, so I haven't seen anybody else. But I know there are other youth organizations that they might be sports specific. So they might have one for soccer or one for basketball, but not one that is overarching for all sports.
What does the future hold for the Central Ohio Youth Sports Collaborative?
Ooh, I hope everything. I think that I want us to be able to. We want to fix youth sports. We want to get there. We want to get more kids playing. We want to get them to try new sports. Right? I'm a black girl from the east side of Columbus, and everybody thought I was going to run track or play basketball or be a cheerleader, and I was none of those things. I was a swimmer. So I want there to be kids out there, populating sports that aren't, necessarily quote unquote the normal sports. Right? We want them to try all the things and find out what they're great at. We might have the best lacrosse player just sitting on the west side, and we don't know it. So we want to find that out. We want to make sure that coaches are being trained. Those coaches, we have so many people who care about the kids in their community, and it's a beautiful thing. But we want to make sure that they know what they, the power that they hold, and we want them to have these tips and tricks so they can better take care of the kids that they work with. And we want to try to continue to listen to the kids, right? Because a lot of the time as adults, it's like they're seen and not heard. We want to hear from the kids. We want to know what they want. We want to know what they want to try, and we want to make sure that we're staying on track, right? Because this whole project, this whole organization was built on listening to the kids, what they want, how they feel, and we want to make sure that we continue that.
I want to thank Sharnon Barnes from the Central Ohio Youth Sports Collaborative for being on with us this week, and there will be lots more of Ohio Sports Magazine when we come back on the Ohio News Network. Stick around.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
I'm Ohio Education Association President Scott DeMauro, and on behalf of the OEA's 120,000 members, we're proud to bring you tonight's game. Our members are the public school educators who coach your kids on and off the field, because we believe in the potential of every student and their right to a high-quality public education, no exceptions. That's why we will continue to speak in one voice to demand the supports and resources our public schools need, because public education matters.
Voting. It's more than just a right, it's a responsibility. November 5th is Ohio's general election, and we encourage you to make your voice heard. Ohio offers 3 convenient ways to vote: voting on Election Day, early in person, and absentee voting. No matter the method you choose, you can be confident that your vote is secure and your voice will be heard. Go to voteohio.gov to learn more. Sponsored by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
October is a strange month. The leaves change color. Halloween is a full-month holiday now. Tricks and treats abound. So what better time than now to profile one of the unusual sports played in the Buckeye State? The Cleveland Riff is a professional Quidditch team. Yes, that's the sport that was profiled in the Harry Potter movie series. There are 15 teams in the league spanning the U.S. and Canada. The team finished winless in 2024. Eric Seaver from ONN affiliate WKYC-TV in Cleveland explains.
The original game had flying broomsticks, enchanted balls, plenty of wizard magic, but what they've done now is made this a real-life game. Now, for people who might not be aware of the original Harry Potter game, explain a little bit of what we're seeing here in terms of what these hoops are, what they're passing around, all that sort of thing.
It's a volleyball that is a little deflated. That is what we use to score by dropping the ball through your other team's hoops, trying to knock out players on the other team. 39 is playing keeper and defending his own team's hoops.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network.
Join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for 2 whole hours of scarlet and gray goodness.
Thank you, football guy.
Buckeye Roundtable, Monday night at 6.
Presented by Burger King.
Your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
Shop low prices and great deals all week long at Meijer. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more on hundreds of items across the store, like General Mills cereal, Swanson broth, and 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products. And don't forget about the spooky good deals on Halloween items, such as buy 2, get 1 free Halloween snack or jumbo-sized candy. And 20% off Halloween tabletop serving, drinkware, and dinnerware. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your half-calf heavy cream mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Pretty mild for us to start the day with mostly clear skies, and then as we go into the afternoon, expect it to be mostly sunny and breezy, but the breezy winds bringing us that warm air. Daytime highs yet again climbing in the mid to upper 70s. For tonight, we'll keep those chances of rain in the forecast, although isolated, but it'll be much chillier as overnight lows go into the mid to upper 40s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo.
taxes and beating Michigan every damn year. This is your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is ONN.
We're almost to the end of October. About 6 weeks remain in the college football season. Ohio State had a bye in Week 7. That was 1 week after their 1-point loss in Eugene to now number 2 Oregon. The Ducks got the 32-31 win there. It dropped Ohio State to 5-1 on the season. Buckeyes will return to Ohio Stadium on October 26th to host Nebraska at noon for homecoming. Paul Feinbaum covers college football at large for ESPN. He joined Bo Bishop and Tim May earlier this week on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus. Paul was asked his thoughts on Ohio State following that upset on the road at Oregon.
I came away thinking in many ways that Ohio State was still the better team, but they did not execute when they had to, as I'm sure you have discussed ad nauseum. I think we'll see this again. I don't think you can read too much into it. Certainly, everyone's thrown up the Ryan Day statistic against top 5 teams. That comes with the territory. But I don't think a lot has really been lost for the Buckeyes.
Hey, Paul, this is Tim May, your good buddy. Thanks for coming on my show last week. Hey, people don't understand. I like Paul Feinbaum. He figured out.
I think everybody knows that.
I like his shtick. I like everything about Paul Feinbaum. And plus, he's making lots of money. Hey, Paul, is Alabama, before we talk about Georgia and Texas, is Alabama, Tennessee, do you think, an elimination game for the college football playoff? What's your take on it?
Tim, it's pretty close to it, and here's why. If Tennessee loses, they're still at Georgia. They're not going to beat Georgia in Athens if they can't beat Alabama at home. And they also have a terrible resume all of a sudden. Their biggest win of the year is over Oklahoma, which proved to be nothing.
Right.
And they beat NC State, which is a terrible team. So they really don't have anything going for them. And I think they'll be in a lot of trouble. Alabama, conversely, with the loss, still has to deal with LSU and Baton Rouge, a place I don't think they'll be able to win. So, it's not an absolute you're done for the year. But it puts them literally on the brink of disaster.
When you look at at the onset of this, and we don't know what to expect yet. We haven't seen a 12-team playoff. We don't know a ranking. We haven't seen any of that yet, Paul. But I was always under the assumption that it would be 3 or 4, or 3 minimum, and as many as 4, and potentially even upwards of 5 that would be SEC Big Ten. That would kind of be the split on this thing. But there is a cannibalization that is taking place, per Tim's question, in terms of Alabama and Tennessee. Ole Miss has lost last week in Baton Rouge. What is your feeling on the number from SEC representation, and then Big Ten would probably be equal to that? What do you think the sweet spot's going to be with the committee on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's 5. And I think the reason for that is you've seen some weird losses already. Missouri losing a game it shouldn't have. You see, the Ole Miss loss to Kentucky was a body blow. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but, they're on the same edge as the team I just mentioned. I think Saturday is one of those games. And then you have the possibility that Georgia is in the same spot. Georgia could have 2 losses before Halloween. The only game they have left that's consequential is at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is another wild card. I know I've just gone through a bunch of them. Probably the school I haven't mentioned that might be the sneakiest of them all is Texas A&M, because they have a non-conference loss to Notre Dame. Speaking of that, I don't mean to divert. I was in Birmingham yesterday for SEC basketball, and I interviewed Sankey, and he was fascinating about the confab last week with the ADs from SEC and Big Ten, and he flat out denied, Bo, that there is a deal to have a scheduling arrangement, as has been reported by multiple sources.
Well, do you think that is Sankey's so slick. Do you think that's a negotiating ploy? What I read into that, and I'm curious your take on it. Would everybody want to see? Oh, and Ohio State's going to play Texas. They play them next year to open the season. Yeah. But would people want to see Georgia play Michigan all the time and those type of things? Of course. Do you think it's possible one of those things where Sankey Petiti say, hey, we're willing to do this, but the checks are going to have to get a little bit bigger?
Yeah, and I think it's also a precursor. He didn't say this, but I think it's a precursor for the automatic bid conversation in the CFP. And right now, I mean, I got a really interesting vibe from Sankey and just about the connection between he and Bettini. And we all heard what they've said publicly, but these guys talk all the time. They are in constant communication. And if you're going to agree, and by the way, another thing concerning that is all the bowl tie-ups already between the SEC and the Big Ten, so you don't want to get in a weird spot there. He said ultimately it's up to the ADs, and they said they're not going to tell them how to schedule, but the ADs know what they're doing. But I think it's a negotiating point for money. I think it figures into the CFP as well.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Start Reaction Monday off in style with Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. They're talking Buckeyes at 6:20, 7:20, and 8:20, and probably all the other minutes in between.
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your furnace is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Gambling too much? Or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is there for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
Save big money now at Menards. Transform everyday spaces into gathering places with custom craft countertops. From elegant to everyday options, the durability of custom craft countertops will last for years to come. Visit our kitchen showrooms in-store or go to menards.com/youcreate to start designing. Don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards. Want to know anything about the Fans contest? How to win? Or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is ONN.
Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch, the National Sports Media Association, Ohio Sports Writer of the Year. And Bill, when you think about all of the scribes that are not only in Central Ohio, all over the state, that has to be a pretty proud honor for you.
Yeah, it is, because there are a lot of great writers in this state, and I looked at the list after I won and saw the names that on legendary names, and I thought, well, it's nice to be on that list. I mean, I don't know that I belong in that list, but it's nice to be on that list.
When you think about covering Ohio State football, what are some of the first questions that people outside of the media ask you about what it's like covering Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's such a huge beat. So many people cover it. And Ohio State football, I've always said, is unique among probably any sports, any college football team in the country, because it's in a big city and it dominates the news. And it kind of has, Ohio State football kind of dominates the sport. What's unique about Ohio State football is that it dominates the state in terms of appeal. I mean, you have the Reds and the Guardians, you have the Bengals and the Browns. But when it comes to college football, yes, there's UC, but let's not kid ourselves. Ohio State's the monster in the state, and it's the one thing that kind of unites the state. So you know that you're covering something that has mass appeal, and there's a pretty big responsibility in that.
Bill, as you're gathering information during the weeks of the football season, is there a process you go through in making it spread out through the course of a week?
Yeah, you have to, because obviously you've one game a week, and so your coverage is 7 days a week. So you got to figure out, what do you save? How do you kind of package this? What kind of not just regurgitate or be a stenographer. How do you kind of shape it? And so people understand that you're not just quoting people, you're trying to tell them stories and inform them about what's going on with the team and who these players are. I mean, probably the thing I like to do most is humanize the players so that people don't think of them as just number 7, that they are who they are as people. That's probably what I consider the thing I strive to do.
Is that a challenge sometimes, given the fact that college athletes aren't as accessible as pro athletes?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Fortunately, Ohio State is pretty cooperative. If we have a story we want to do, game day covers, for example, they are pretty good about getting us those players, and we can talk to them one-on-one, and that's a great opportunity. You got to obviously take advantage of it. And you find that these players really, almost all of them, have a really interesting backstory, and it's just a matter of finding it and getting them to share it with you as much as they're comfortable with. So it's a challenge, but it's also the fun part of it.
We know that the head coach is always kind of front of mind when it comes to the things that you do. The assistant coach is part of that too at times?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sometimes they're better because the head coach, is going to be kind of generic, but the position coaches know the players really well. That's their unit. And so you can get great insights from them. And I think about the Ohio State assistant coaches that we've had over the years, and they've been, generally great to deal with.
I know the deadlines aren't what they used to be, but on a game day, what's the pressure like to get everything compiled as best you can with the time restraints you have?
Yeah, we're expected to, I'm expected to have my game story or whatever variation of that it is right away, as soon as the game ends. Now, a lot of games, fortunately, Ohio State blows out people from my perspective, so I can start writing at halftime. But if it's, close game, then I've sometimes got an Ohio State win story on one screen, an Ohio State loses story on the other split screen, and going back and forth, and yeah, that's a challenge.
Bill, in the course of all of this, and you've done it for a while, does it still scratch the itch as far as creative writing?
Yeah, and that's honestly why I went into sports in the first place, because I could cover City Hall or something like that. It's kind of dry. So sports, it's important to people, but it's not actually important. So you feel like you could have some creativity with it. It's not life and death. It's sports. It's diversion. It's fun. I take it very seriously. I know people care very much about it. But you have to have that perspective. I think people, if they're sports writers who think that this actually is truly important, probably isn't a great sports writer. You have to understand what it is, and it is important to people, and it's fun, but it is just sports.
What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in sports writing?
Oh, boy. I mean, when I came in, there was no internet, so that's the biggest. I mean, the idea that when I started, I would write one story a day, and that was it, or two story, whatever it was for print. The downside of that is if you, God forbid, made a mistake, it was there forever. Now, if you make a mistake, you can go correct it, at least online, which is good. Hopefully you don't make mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. And so that's the biggest thing, the immediacy. That's everything. It's a 24-hour news cycle now. And if something happens at 11 o'clock at night, I got to get off the couch or out of bed or whatever and deal with it. It doesn't happen very often, but occasionally it does.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
I'm Ohio Education Association President Scott DeMauro, and on behalf of the OEA's 120,000 members, we're proud to bring you tonight's game. Our members are the public school educators who coach your kids on and off the field, because we believe in the potential of every student and their right to a high-quality public education, no exceptions. That's why we will continue to speak in one voice to demand the supports and resources our public schools need, because public education matters.
Voting. It's more than just a right, it's a responsibility. November 5th is Ohio's general election, and we encourage you to make your voice heard. Ohio offers 3 convenient ways to vote: voting on Election Day, early in person, and absentee voting. No matter the method you choose, you can be confident that your vote is secure and your voice will be heard. Go to voteohio.gov to learn more. Sponsored by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
If you recently lost health coverage due to a life change, healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it was there for Marcus when he lost his job, and Keisha when she turned 26 and lost her parents' insurance, and Elena when she went off Medicaid. There are many other ways to qualify. Visit healthcare.gov today to see if you're eligible to enroll. Limited time to enroll. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Bodie Wells to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. On the show this week, the guys discussed whether or not the Cleveland Browns might be in tank mode after trading Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills.
This next topic was going to be, does the Amari Cooper trade signal the Browns waving the white flag? And before anyone answers, I want to read you a quote here from Kevin Stefanski today, who is speaking to the media right now. Steve, take that. Kevin Stefanski, when asked about trying to sell to the locker room that the team is still trying to win after the Cooper trade, said, quote, I think our guys get the number one thing here is to win. Number one thing is to compete. The truth is, you do lose guys throughout the course of a season. Sometimes it's due to injury, sometimes it's due to trade, whatever it may be, and our guys have to step up when that time comes.
No,
I don't know why it cuts off there, but that is the end of the quote. Do you believe the Amari Cooper trade signals the full-on tank job for the Browns? Or not?
Well, that's a different story between full-on tank job.
No,
and
full-on is when they
win.
trade Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
like that is a 100% white flag tank job.
Right. I don't.
Right now, we're putting our toes in the water.
But it clearly signals that winning is not the first priority. No.
No, it does, because Amari Cooper makes the team better. Yeah. Unless they know something we don't know.
Like, right. Unless he's been a cancer in the locker room.
Has been,
who knows?
I just really can't see that because we haven't heard that in his past. And, and from my life, as you get older, like you become like more mature a little bit. So I think well, maybe it depends, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I think he's 30 years old. Like what's he going to do in the locker room? He's going to be like pissed off, moping around? Is he going to like try to be a cancer? Because there are guys like that try to get other people. Misery loves company, right? So they love to get people to come and commiserate with all the negative things and thoughts and all those things. But like, I don't think that's how he was. With that being said, yeah, the Browns are worse today by getting rid of Amari Cooper.
Right.
However, they may be better because of the third-round pick, although it depends who's making that selection.
Right.
And that's only better next year at the earliest.
Right, yeah, sure.
Third-round picks sometimes don't show up right away.
I think the Browns are absolutely like at a crossroads as to what to do, because this is completely off script. This is not what they thought was going to happen. They thought it was going to be easy. They thought they were hitting that easy button when they got Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Now they put themselves in a really tough spot where I don't know how they recover from it in the near future in terms of like the next couple of years without trading a Myles Garrett.
To catch the full breakdown, just search for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and enjoy their daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine show here on the Ohio News Network.
Friday nights mean high school football. Join us for the fans' high school game of the week.
This week, Olentangy at Olentangy Berlin.
Live coverage starts Friday night at 6:30. Your home for Friday Night Lights, The Fan.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick, but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Now is a great time to start your holiday shopping at Meijer. Save big this week with our early holiday deals. Save $40 on a Gourmet air fryer. Save $30 when you buy a Keurig K-Slim single-serve coffee maker. And for the competitive ones on your gift list, select board games are 20% off. Shop even more great gift ideas like these in the Meijer Holiday Gift Guide. Available on Meijer.com, in-store, or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No? The Buckeyes Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
That's all for this week's Ohio Sports Magazine. Thank you so much to this week's guests, including Sharnon Barnes of the Central Ohio Youth Sports Collaborative, Dylan Tyre from the Columbus Blue Jackets, and an assist from our friends at WKYC-TV in Cleveland. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Bodie Wells, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine. Join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.